we have. So I've got the pleasure of being here with, on behalf of Pivot Point as well. We are working with Jason Russell, who is the Learning Engagement and Artistic Manager for Pivot Point International. Really excited for you guys to see his talents today and everything that's going on. In order to assist Jason, since he will be braiding, I myself, Daniel Dunworth, will be kind of fielding some of the questions. So please feel free to ask any questions that you may have in the chat. It looks like many of you have found your way over to that chat portion of Zoom. So if you ask questions, I will be sure to get them over to Jason and help you guys out with it or answer them there in the chat. Jason, would you like to speak a little bit to the two looks that you have going on today?
Absolutely. Thank you again, everyone, for being here with us today. As Daniel said, I'm Jason Russell. I really want to take you through two beautiful looks today. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, this is a ladder braid combined with a bubble braid. So I'm going to show you how to combine the two of those on our first look. And then as we move into the second look throughout the session, I'm going to be taking you not only through a double-stranded twist braid, but also the waterfall version of it. So I hope you're excited to see these. They are amazing, and they're going to do great things for you and your clientele.
Awesome. Now, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just pull this over. You all get an opportunity to see Jason, but I do need to give out a couple of special shout outs before we dive deep into all of this content. Really want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Shears, of course, who are putting this show on for all of us, especially Willie, who is the National Education Director for SharkFin, really put in the hustle and helping on getting this amazing event together. Of course, as you know, SharkFin Shears, they've got a big focus on education, not just on shears, but everything. And of course, it shows. So thank you very much to SharkFin Shears. Also, of course, want to give a special nod of recognition over to Pivot Point. We have been providing the mannequins that have been used throughout many of the different presentations, and especially today's seminar. Of course, Jason knows, and I myself, both of us working for Pivot Point, we are really proud of these mannequins, not just for the quality, but also because of the ethical manufacturing standards that goes into them. Very important to us that our mannequins, of course, provide you with great education, but also provide many other people ethical standards in how they're produced. So make sure that you do stick around to the end of the class for a chance to win some amazing prizes from all the different partners of this education event. This prize is valued at over $1,000. So if you haven't heard about it yet, make sure that you stay tuned to the end, where we will be announcing how you can enter and all of the different prizes that are inside of it. So on that note, Jason, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Go ahead and steal the show.
All right. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that so much. Well, everybody, hope you're having an awesome day so far. I just wanted to kind of get an up close and little glimpse here with you for just a moment. I'm actually going to be moving the camera around so you can get really close into the looks that we're going to be completing today. So our first look is going to be completed on our Diana mannequin. If you're in the market for any kind of beautiful hair to work on, this Diana mannequin is my absolute go-to for long hair. So you're going to see some beautiful results that happen with her. I'm going to kind of get her in position for you for our first look. And give me just a moment to kind of drop the camera down. Here we go. Nothing wrong with you unless you had a few cocktails. You're going down. There we go. Perfect. Now, as Daniel mentioned, please feel free to ask any questions or provide any concerns that you may have, and I'll be glad to make sure that we answer all of those for you. Our first look here is going to be that ladder braid that is also a combination of a bubble braid. So we're going to begin here by simply detangling our look. My friends, key thing to keep in mind with good long hair, and that is the right product. So for this specific look, when providing braids, I'm going to take a small amount of a cream pomade, just like this, on my hand. And you always want to emulsify your product 100% in your hands, on the tops of your hands, and in between your fingers 100%. If you were to show your hands to the camera, you can see you don't see any product remaining on my hands, but it's clearly there by the feel. So if you leave any heavy dollops of your product in your hand, you're going to have uneven application throughout your hair. So now I'm going to gently start underneath first, and then gently rub throughout the surface of the hair. This product is a light shine. In other words, it's between matte and shiny. So there's a mid gloss to it. And now always keep in mind, you want to comb that product through the hair really well. Comb that product through the hair really well. Nice and neat. We're going to begin the very beginning of it at the top of our head. So my friends, we're going to start at the peak of our eyebrows up, and we're going to make a horseshoe shape around the top of our head using that highest point of our eyebrow. So if I come in at the eyebrow up, I'm going to bring it around and all the way across to the opposite side and simply separate that section. Drop the side. Now for this specific look, we're going to be using small elastic bands to be able to secure and anchor this beautiful ladder braid too. Once we have our central section, we're going to go in with our elastic band, place it on your finger just like so. You're going to clamp it across the hair, pull, neatly across, circle it, put your fingers back inside, flip it over, clamp the hair, and pull the elastic band to the opposite side. For this specific look, I only need about 2 passes around that ponytail and give it a gentle push back. As you saw from the image that we provided a minute ago, this piece that we have hanging here now is going to serve as the anchor for every one of my new sections taken in my ladder braid. So look how this is going to go. We're going to begin by taking our first section on the right-hand side of our head, horizontally, all the way around to center, combing it neat toward the center. So really analyze how clean and neat this is laying as it goes around. As we bring it around, simply lift your center point up, and you want this hair to go under it. I'm going to turn where you can see how that looks. Notice now this piece has gone under that center section. I'm going to give it a gentle bit of hairspray, very mild spray here, and work that through with my fingers. Once you've gone under the center portion, watch this. You're simply going to go 360 degrees around that piece. Notice I've made a full circle around that centralized piece of hair here. Once you go full circle, notice I'm holding the hair in my left. So you're going to loosen up this circle right here. See how it makes a circle? Take your right 2 fingers, index and middle finger. You're going to position it up through the circle like this. Apply the end of that into the circle and simply pull it through. Pull it to the left-hand side because we took it from the right, so it goes to the opposite side. And simply take that piece of hair and combine it with the center ponytail. And once you combine it with the center ponytail, we're going to repeat the technique of taking an elastic band, going right above, 1, applying it around twice, and gently giving it a pull. Notice how that first pass now has camouflaged that band that was across the top. That is our first rung on the ladder that we're creating. Open it up for any questions or concerns at this moment. Please feel free to let Daniel know those questions.
Jason, I've got a question for you from a participant.
Go for it.
In general braiding, do you have any recommendations for, or would you recommend doing this braid on dry or wet hair?
Good question. So it can be done either way. So amazing results can happen when this is performed on wet hair, allowed to dry and then taken down. It can be a really cool texture. So it can be done on either one. That's a really great question. Now we're moving to the left-hand side of our head. Let's repeat. So coming from the center, horizontal parting, neatly clean that up. Remember the key thing here is that it comes around and it goes underneath that centerpiece. So clean it up. Notice now, it has come under the centerpiece that we have here. If you recall, the next step is to go 360. So I'm on the right, I'm gonna go around that centerpiece and come back 360 degrees around that ponytail, just like so. And because I'm on the right-hand side here, here's the key thing to keep in mind. It's loosen the circle up. Insert your middle and index finger upward. Remember, it always needs to go upward through the hole. Insert the tail, pull it down. And because I added from the right, you pull it to the left-hand side, lock it in place, and combine it with that center ponytail. So I'm gonna give her a little spin for a moment. Once we combine it with that center ponytail, our next step is to add that elastic band in. It's so cool here. This technique is amazing for girls going out to dance on the town because of these elastic bands, it really stays in place quite simply. And also what's so cool about it is we could stop at any point going down. We only have to add 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections. That's as many as we want. We could leave it just like this with a half up, half down overall appearance when it's done. But let's look at how to finish it up some more. We're going to repeat, and I'm going to take a little bit bigger sections here since it's a bit repetitive. That way you can see how it's finished. Okay, bring in that new section and bringing that new section under, neatly cleaning it up. Once it goes under, we have that full 360 around. And because I'm holding the hair on the left-hand side, I loosen the circle up, put the right hand in, and bring it on through. Tighten it up to the left, bring it under, and repeat. So here's a question for you to go to your chat feature. Okay? Go to your chat feature. We're going to ask you a little quick question. Okay? Each new section goes underneath the center ponytail or on top of the center ponytail. Each new section goes underneath the center ponytail or on top of the center ponytail. Daniel, yell at us as some answers start to come through there.
Well, you have had several dozens of answers already come in. Flying in underneath is where they are all going. Jason, let them know if they're
Wonderful.
right.
Now, I just saw someone in the chat that said, does section size matter? You can try this with little tiny sections at the top. You can try this with large sections. You're going to get a different result depending on your section size, but you absolutely can do it in any section size that works out for you. So I'm going to take this one last section to finish off the side. And see, notice this is quite a bit bigger. To finish out our last 2 portions here. Hope you guys don't get a little sick on me having to bring her around quite so much. As you said in your chat feature, this is going to go under. Once it goes under, nice and neatly, 360, boom. Okay. Because I'm holding on to the right, that means my left fingers are going to go up, insert, pull through, tighten it upward, and bring it together with that center ponytail. This is our next to the last, and then we can start doing the bubble braid version of this. Now, my friends, I want to give you a little bit of advice. It is important when we're doing long hair styling or braiding with our guests that we always educate them on how to remove these services when they get home. Because you're going to have about 5 to 10 elastic bands in the head. And the last thing we want to hear when a client gets home is them pulling the bands down the strand, compromising the integrity of the hair. So what we can do is educate them really well. Let them know one cool trick to get this hairstyle out. If you will just tell them to take a hot curling iron when they get home, plug the curling iron in, and if they will simply just barely quickly touch the elastic band, it will poof and pop right out. It's important that they do not linger on the band because then you may have rubber in the hair. We want to touch it quickly and then the bands will simply pop right out. We don't want them compromising the quality of their hair. Last section, and then we'll start our bubble.
And Jason, I've got a couple questions for you as well from the group.
Go for it.
Question number 1. Could you also accomplish this braiding technique on extremely or tightly coiled hair?
Absolutely. It looks beautiful when it's done. And if you follow me on Instagram, and we'll post it by the end of the service, you will see these techniques done on multiple textures of hair. We make sure to show a big diversity with fine, medium, coarse, lightly curled, wavy, and tightly curled results. That is an awesome question.
Great. And here's question number 2. Could you also do this on hair that has any hair additions or extensions added in?
Of course, absolutely. We love hair extensions. In these day and times in the salon, they're a big portion of our business, so we absolutely could. Just think about it for a minute. All the extensions are going to be added into the scalp. So we're really not disturbing the scalp at this point. So it won't disturb any of your extensions either whenever you're beginning to put it inside of this style. Good questions. So I'm going to give you a little profile look where you can see something. What starts have to happen. It hasn't happened a lot on this one, but sometimes when you do this technique, the ponytail will start to stick out and project off the head quite a bit. If that ever happens to you when you're practicing with this, simply take a small fraction of hair from under the ponytail like this, and then just give it a pull downward, and then the ponytail will lay more contoured to the head shape. Questions, concerns, or issues at this point? I think you're all getting it. Okay, let's start our bubble braid. This is exciting. So I'm going to show you a quick technique when we begin our bubble braid that you can use a tool like this, which is called a latch hook. This tool ranges about $2 to $5 whenever you're doing at your craft section at Walmart or Target. Or I'm going to show you how to camouflage your ponytails today using 2 large hairpins. So these 2 tools that I've just shown you will do the same thing, so you'll be seeing different results. Here's what I mean. We're going to go ahead and gather all of Diana's hair. This girl was made for long hair, so that we can start our bubble braiding process. We're going to take another small elastic band. I want to show you again that technique. If you'll get accustomed to putting it around your fingers like this, putting it across the strand. Once you get it across the strand, give it a pull. Okay, gently. Put your fingers in on the opposite side, upside down, reverse, and simply clamp to the next side. We don't want to manipulate the hair a lot whenever we're putting in elastic bands, because we may have this positioned exactly the way we want it. So we can't really take the chance of causing a lot of things to mess up at this point. So watch, we're going to take a tiny fractional piece of hair. If you ever have a hairstyle where you want to camouflage your bands, give it a little hairspray on this hair. And this is only about 10, 15 little strands. And you circle that around just like so. The first way I'm going to show you, my friends, is with a hairpin. Okay? If you'll insert a hairpin with the round side going up, just like this, into the hair, you can then fold and create a bend in the hair and simply put that fold through the end of that hairpin. And now I can pull down on that pin and it goes through, and that hair has completely been camouflaged. So it's such a quick and easy tool to be able to use to camouflage elastic bands when you don't want to see them there. So let's look at our next section of bubble.
Jason, quick question while you set that up.
Go for
Question
it.
came through. Can you start this technique, and the one that you also just demonstrated previously, higher or lower on the head?
Absolutely. It looks beautiful when you do a little tiny section right on the top of her head to start. It's really up to you and how you design it at this point. You can put it anywhere on your head. I have done it before where there's one going down one side of the head, one going down the other. So there's tons of options there. Great question.
And another question specific to what you just did, which you may be demonstrating further, but when you pulled the hairpin through there, were you careful to go through the elastic band? Do you need to go through the elastic band, or as long as you are wrapped around the hair?
Great question. It's important that the round end of the pin, and I'll show you once again up close, it's important that you see the round end of the pin goes underneath that bobby pin. Now, if it splits the hair when you, that elastic band, if it splits the hair like that when you're going, it won't matter, okay? So it's just enough to be able to shove that little hook through the end of that piece. Great question. So let's use a different technique here. You may choose a latch hook. So notice when a latch hook has a little bit of a lever here and also a hook. The goal is to get the hair under it, close the lever, and then pull it through. Okay? So we're gonna get a small piece of hair like we did a minute ago, only about 10 or 15 little pieces. And when I'm getting the hair for this portion, I try to find the longest piece of hair that I have. I don't want to get a little tiny short piece as I'm working. So notice I'm taking the longest little piece that I have, giving it a little bit of hairspray. Once you take that hairspray around, or excuse me, take that hair around, like so. A couple of times. You'll take the lever down and you'll insert it underneath that piece. And you've got to go all the way up so that the lever is above the bobby pin. Simply anchor it, close the lever, and pull it through just like that. So you have two techniques to be able to camouflage elastic bands when doing long hairstyles. So let's see how to make a bubble. How we make a bubble now. My friends, we want this piece of hair to become round and to make an expanded bubble. So go under your bottom ponytail. You want to find a tiny little piece of right in the center of that section. Once I get the centermost point, I simply hold that elastic band and I begin to give it a little pull back to make an expansion, or what we refer to as a bubble braid. In this first look here, you can see now that this is an example of a cool ladder braid combined with a bubble braid on the bottom. How you feel about it? Give me some thumbs up if we can see your faces there. Daniel, any questions?
No, sir. Nothing new that's come through, but you're getting lots of love and thumbs up in the chat.
Well, we love love, don't we? Perfect. So my friends, let me explain one other thing to you before moving forward. We can also make these looks look a bit more editorial. Notice that she has a bit of a tribal feel to her. You know, she's ready for Coachella, so we can absolutely take this one step further. And the way we would do that is by beginning to go in and roughen her up. I'm going to begin to take random pieces of hair and pull this backward. And we know when we begin to pull things against the grain, okay, in the opposite direction of the cuticle growth, things begin to make a little bit of organic or messy appearance whenever they're done. So I'm going to go in and show you how just to gently go through and begin to expand this little girl. Make her cool, make her a bit editorial, make her a bit funky. I myself am a classic hairstylist, which means I normally like things to be a little bit perfect, but this is what we see more of from our clients these days. They're looking more for randomization. They're looking more for a lived-in appearance. So when things don't need to be quite so perfect, don't be scared. Just get in there and do it. We can always go back and correct if we need to, but the general rule with any type of deconstruction, as you can see here now, is just do a little bit, step back, analyze it, and go back and do a little bit more later on. I hope you love this first look on our beautiful mannequin, Diana. Let's give her a little spin for you. She's looking hot. She's ready to go out partying. So I hope you loved her. So any questions before we move on to our look number 2?
I've got one question for you here. That technique that you demonstrated with the bubble, can you do that multiple times throughout a strand?
Oh, yes. At our last hair show that we had, we did a runway segment where the ponytail was all the way to the floor. So we did multiple bubbles constantly all the way down in that finished look. So it took the girl a couple of hours, but it was beautiful when it was done. Great question. Any more there, my friend?
Nope, that was it for this one. But again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to go ahead and put them through the Q&A or in the chat, and I will make sure we keep answering them. Someone said this is not a question, but they wanted to give the comment, beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. So let's look at our next beautiful mannequin here. This is Vanessa. So she is my go-to girl. Diana and Vanessa are the two highest quality products that you're going to be able to find on the market for doing beautiful long hairstyles with. When you get into my Instagram and start touring around, you're going to see that about 75% probably of all the looks that are accomplished inside of that site are done on this beautiful mannequin here, Vanessa. So folks, this is one of my favorite techniques. I have been doing this for many years, but I'm going to be taking you through a double strand twist, but we have evolved it into not only just a twist, but also the waterfall version of it. So notice I've got her parted off to the side on the left, asymmetrically, with the heaviest part of the hair going over to the right. It can absolutely be done to the opposite direction as well, depending on how your client works and wears their hair. So if you can probably notice when looking at her, she has got a little bit of texture to her. I used a micro crimping iron on this hair prior to starting. You can see how much guts that she has. And when we say guts as hairstylists, we mean the ability to just really be able to move her well. She can do whatever we want her to quite easily. She's not very fine or very soft. So I'm going to turn her around here to the light side of the parting where you can see. And we're going to start by taking a C-shaped parting from the top. Notice the C shape that you see here. We're going to let all of the hair hang down naturally, natural fall across the curve of the head, except for this one section. Okay. Now, this may be something you've seen before on social media, but I can promise you we're going to take it one step further. Begin by subdividing this section in two and simply putting the bottom section across the top section like this. I'm going to sing you a little song. Remember, twist the top and add it to the bottom. Twist the top and add it to the bottom. So the top, we're going to twist it away from the head. We're going to twist it away from the head. In other words, it's really coming toward our body. So we've twisted the top and we're going to add it to the bottom. Simply, once the second step is done, bottom then goes over top. So we now twist the top and add it to the bottom. Twist the top and add it to the bottom. So twist. Now I'm going to take a vertical section underneath and add it to the bottom. When I'm taking each of my new sections, I'm only going to go halfway down because I want to do a half up, half down appearance. Bottom goes over the top and we twist. We now go and add to the bottom. Bottom goes over top and we twist. Let's take this one step further. This is just the two-strand version. Let's do it as a waterfall. Now, if I want to do a waterfall, right before adding to my bottom, I split the bottom strand in half, place the split above my hand like this. And now I want to add to the bottom strand. Stay with me, I'll do it multiple times. Bring the waterfall back down and repeat. Bottom goes over top. Look at that beautiful waterfall hanging out there. Okay, twist the top and add it to the bottom. But now, right before adding to the bottom, we split the bottom, pick up the old waterfall, put them across the top of our hand, and add to the bottom. Any questions? Now bring my waterfalls back down and simply put bottom over top, and you know we twist the top. Right before adding to the bottom, we simply break it in two, pick up the old waterfalls along with it, put them across the top of your hand, and add to the bottom. Let's take any questions or comments that we may have there, Daniel.
Well, I've got plenty of comments to share with you. Everything from, well, you are the Bob Ross of braiding. And people also find that your song there for remembering is rather catchy and helpful. So people are definitely loving it. And also just going to take a moment to share Jason's Instagram handle. I have posted it to the chat. But if you would like to follow Jason Russell on Instagram, make sure you go ahead and look for JER9776. That is his official Instagram handle. And I'll post that in the chat a couple of times so you guys are aware of it.
Thank you, Daniel. Wonderful. So guys, this gets a little bit repetitive here, but I just want to actually take you through the process one more time and let you do it. Let you see it up close before we turn it over. And that's twist the top. Get those in the same hand. Remove half of the bottom strand and simply go under and add to the bottom strand. This gives us such an amazing look. So anybody who's doing bohemian brides, anyone who is doing festival hair, this is a perfect style to be able to do in order to make that look great for the event. Twist the top and add it to the bottom. So I'm going to do some quick sections here for you. Add it. Now, as you get around to the side of the head, I want all of this hair to be able to kind of drape back from the side front. So twist the top. So I'm not going to be doing any more waterfalls. I'm going to put all of this front hair in here, bottom over top. Okay, bottom over top. And our last section, once you've added all of your hair in from the front, here's how you finish an off scalp version of this twist. You now have 2 strands remaining. You're simply going to repeat the technique of bottom over top. Don't forget the twist, my friends. If you simply put bottom over top like this without the twist, when you let it go, it will uncoil quite drastically. So you've got to be on the right track of twisting every time. So bottom over top, twist. Bottom over top, twist.
Jason, here's
Bottom
a question for you as you're going through that twisting. One person asked, is any product needed for doing this braid, or can you add any?
That's a great question. So, product always depends on existing hair texture. So we're trying to get hair, to a piece of fabric that's similar to cotton. So if you think about fabric, think about silk, think about burlap, and think about cotton. If hair is too silky when doing long hairstyles, it's really challenging. So you'll need a bit of product to build it up. If hair is along the burlap feel to it or coarse when it's done, it may need to be flat ironed or pressed in order to get it to the ideal dress work area. So that is a wonderful question. If you have someone who is medium texture already, you're going to need very little product to go and make this, to execute this. Great question. So look how this twist will stay in place simply because we twisted each one of those sections as we went. So to take this, our last step today, my friends, we are going to deconstruct this twist, and then we are going to place it. And so here's the key thing to keep in mind with deconstruction. Start at the bottom, and we want to gently begin to pull. Notice I am only pulling maybe 1/4 of an inch at a time. Very gently. Deconstruction means expansion. In other words, this design is going to get larger as a result of this deconstruction. Okay? You can see how, as we work our way up, everything's getting a little bit bigger. This is what I said earlier about our clients are really looking for more of that editorial feel, that more lived in look. And this is what gives that. So now I'm simply going to take that ponytail, drape it back here on the top, give it 1 hairpin. I'm going to take my second hairpin, bring it around, anchor that elastic band 1 last time. Then my friends, you have a beautiful Coachella Festival inspired twist and waterfall braid going on there. I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. We're actually going to turn it back over to Daniel, and he's going to finish up our session for you. Thanks, everyone.
Sure. And Jason, one quick question before you sign off here is
Sure.
When you were pulling, you were doing your pulls in your twist there, were you always pulling from the top?
Good question. So when actually we were getting hair from the bottom on this one. So as I go bottom over and twist, where I was taking sections from the bottom. This hair on the top is actually running down and up into that twist. So we didn't take any sections up here. They were all coming from underneath. Great
and how about
question.
during your deconstruction of the twist and the lengths? Is that does that matter where you pull to deconstruct or loosen it?
Oh, absolutely. So a good rule of thumb is always start at the end and work your way up, because whenever you start at the top, all the ends are still bound into the elastic band. So if you start at the bottom by loosening up some of those ends as you work your way up, the top hair will come out much easier at that point. So go from the bottom up a little bit at a time. If you need it bigger, go back to the bottom and work your way up again. That's a great question.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jason.
Yes. It's been a pleasure, everyone.
Awesome, awesome. So with this, everybody, I'd like to go ahead and just give you guys a few reminders as well. As you can see Jason there, we're going to go ahead and just give him an opportunity. He's pulling out look number 2. But I want to share a few things with all of you before, of course, you sign off. And I mentioned, hey, we've got some pretty awesome giveaways here. So allow me to share with you a few of these incentives that you guys have by joining this session. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this open. That a few reminders. We have, of course, the giveaway. Now, the giveaway, if you'd like to be entered to win this $1,000 plus valued kit, what you need to do at this time is text your first and last name. Do this right now to 888-544-7254. Now, that is something that you guys, again, have the opportunity to, again, participate in. Enter your first and last name to that chat. Now, what I'd like to share with you that's actually inside of this kit that you guys are entering to win, and the winner will be notified after the session. You won't be notified live now, as, of course, they're going to go through and select that winner randomly. But a few things that you'll find in here, of course, available through the different education sponsors and hosts. The cordless Envy lithium ion. You've got the Andis adjustable blade clipper. You also have the Slimline Pro cord or cordless rechargeable trimmer. Of course, 2 fantastic tools. The adjustable blade clipper, over 2 hours of runtime, charges in 90 minutes, extremely lightweight, really amazing tool there. Adjustable blades, the whole 9 yards. And of course, with the Slimline Pro trimmer, again, you also have that awesome battery that can deliver up to 2 hours of runtime, 2.5-hour charge time. So they're pretty robust tools. You also have Ergo's round brushes that are available being given away during this. You've got the diamond head, which has a very unique shape, of course, that allows you to get into those tight spaces like the nape, fringe area, and the sides. You've got their polishing paddle brush. You also have, by Shark Fin, a few of their different shears here, all of which, of course, hand-forged, hand-welded, Japanese 440A steel, their patented handle and finger fitting system, along with a razor. So available from Shark Fin. And of course, from Pivot Point, we've got our fan favorite Erica mannequin. This has been a go-to mannequin for many professional artists and ourselves for quite some time. Amazing for color, styles, cutting, the whole 9 yards. And of course, color even shows quite brilliantly on her because she has 100% human hair. So with that, if you'd like a chance to enter in for all of those, do make sure that you text one more time your first and last name to 888-544-7254. Now, even if you enter and you did not select, you were not selected for the winner, the winning prize here, you actually are all quite a bit of a winner. I'm going to post in the chat right now. Each of you have the opportunity to get some pretty nice discounts on a number of different tools. Shark Fin is offering a 20% off of any of your purchases. Pivot Point offering 20% off of hair, tripods, and holders. Ergo is offering 10% off the purchase with a store registration. And Andis is offering 10% off and free shipping with any purchase over $50. So I'm going to post those different coupon codes into the chat right now. Make sure that you certainly grab those and get an opportunity to snag your discounts. I'm going to post those right now. Here we go. But just to share with each of you, if you're interested in the Shark Fin, the 20% off, your coupon code is family20. If you're interested in the Pivot Point 20% discount, your discount code there is SharkFin20. Ergo is offering, again, 10% off with the coupon code of ErgoShark. And Andis is offering the 10% off and free shipping with any purchase over $50 with the code of Elevate10. So again, please remember to get your text in there. If you guys have any other questions, would be happy to answer those. I'm going to just take a quick peek here. And for those of you that also wanted to follow Jason and take a look at those different looks that he was demonstrating and several more, Jason Russell's Instagram handle is JER9776. So again, feel free to follow there. And I saw one other question as far as sharpening Shark Fin shears. Do make sure that you would reach out to Shark Fin so that way they can help you out with any of your sharpening needs. And with that, so again, hopefully you guys had a chance to text, get in there. I will post the coupon codes one more time into the chat so everyone can get a chance to see all of those. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and Jason, bring it back to you for any closing. I see you've got our lovely mannequins there for some closing thoughts.
You got it. My friends, if you are going into social media and creating and executing these looks on your own, please tag us. We would love to see your amazing work, and we look forward to seeing more from you in the future. It's been a pleasure being here with you from Pivot Point. Daniel and myself, have a great and awesome day.